No cough drop.
Why not?
Because it's like the sound is really annoying on the
But then I'm going to cough like crazy.
try to keep it on one side of your mouth and not go back and
Maybe I should
forth.
go make myself a tea, huh?
Yeah. Like the sound is really annoying on.
Okay, let's start.
Why don't you go make yourself some tea? I'll wait.
Okay. Okay.
Ready? Hi guys, thank you for joining. This is Essence of Medicine, and today we're talking about how stress and the holidays can impact your spine. I'm Amanda Armagast.
Now I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence. Well, the holidays are supposed to be something that takes our stress away, but the reality is different, right?
I think the holidays, like the magic of the holidays exists if you want it to, but it's something that you definitely have to create. And luckily children are in a really good position because their parents love them and their parents can create the happiness and the joy of the holidays. But when you become the adult, you pretty much have to create that for yourself. The holidays are really stressful. They're stressful for me too, but I think every year I'm being a little bit less and less stressed out by the holidays. It's easy for me to say I'm less stressed out because I don't have children or anyone to rely on me. But obviously, just finding little ways to make the holidays more enjoyable for you will make them overall less stressful for everybody, I think.
Well, the idea of any holiday, even like Sunday, is that you rest and you recover your energy.
Mm-hmm.
But in at least in the most of Western countries, I would say probably everywhere, we have made the holidays to consume consumption orgy rather than truly rest and let our body. So we have to prepare so much for the holiday that like everybody's stressed to go shopping and presents, packing, and so on and so forth. That
And it's not even just that. It's like now you have to decorate your entire house. You have to go outside. And this is actually one of the things I wanted to talk about today because I wanted to talk about the way that the holidays can negatively impact your spine. A lot of people end up having back issues from putting up their tree, lifting these heavy boxes, or more commonly, I think, going on the roof to put on their Christmas lights.
and if they're unlucky, they will fall and they have more problem than just regular spine problem. Now, no, I think yeah, you chose the title of this podcast, Spine and Holiday, for a reason. You want to enlighten us a little about, you said something about the cold as well affecting
Yeah.
our spine. What do you notice? What do you yourself notice?
Well, when I wake up in the colds, I'm a little bit more tight. I think that it takes my body more time to warm up. My muscles, I'm not sore, but my muscles are a little bit more rigid and tight, I guess you could say.
Now, what is the one of the first thing when you go to yoga or somebody goes to gym? One of the first thing they do when they go there?
Warm up.
What does that mean?
Light stretching. So, well, in yoga, you warm up by doing a little bit of breathing exercises, meditating. We do something that's called moving your spine in all six directions, which is like completely warming up your spine. So then you're able to bend better and stretch better. But yeah, in yoga, I've been talking about this all week, coincidentally, but it's really about balancing but then also doing things incrementally. So you warm up your body and then you prepare your body before you do these different movements. Same thing, I think, when you wake up, you need to prepare your body a little bit, warm up,
Mhm.
stretch if you can.
Well, it is actually a very quite literal thing.
Yeah,
You're
warm up.
warming up your muscle. You're literally um, uh, providing more perfusion to the muscles. And more or less, I can give you one example. It's a pretty dumb example, but when we were young, we would, just be in the schoolyard and um, uh, put tension in our belly and hit each other in the belly, as what young men, usually teenager and the kids do. Have you seen that? Girls
No.
never do that. Boys do that. I think boys do that more. But when you are ready, when if you have tension there and you hit it, and the energy can be absorbed and not passed on to other organs. But then we would, hit somebody without them being prepared, and then it would be way more painful
Yeah.
because when the muscles are not prepared and they cannot contract in a coordinated way, then anything you do, any energy of any motion or any activity you do, it get carried over in a unharmonious way that can cause more damage. In the same way that if you go to a gym and you don't go start lifting up like the maximum you do.
Yeah.
What you do some stretches, you warm up, and then you do few lighter amount of.
Yeah,
And
you ease into things.
yes, and I think that has a literal effect as well in our winter activities because it's physically cold
Yeah.
and that reduces the perfusion to our muscles. And if our muscles are less ready to do about their usual work and perform at the level that sometimes we think we can do it, but the muscles are in that position before they warm up, they are not ready to do that. Now,
Well, it kind of goes the other way too, because like for example, if you're a runner, you're used to running in warmer temperatures, and once these temperatures start to drop and you're running outside, you're going to be less warm than you normally would be. So maybe you don't realize the amount of energy you're putting out, and you might actually overexert yourself because you don't notice because of the temperature difference.
but what is that effect of that on our spine? I think that has a general effect, but what do you think, what's the specific effect on the spine?
Well, a lot of our muscles are connected to our spine. So if we're not warmed up, we're not bending properly,
Mhm.
or we can like pinch a nerve, over pull a muscle, something like that, right?
And all of that, but as well, you see the all around our spine, the muscle like a tube all around protecting it, multiple layers actually. Imagine those muscles are not at their best performance. And then you decide you want to go on the roof or you want to bring the heavy Christmas tree down and put it up and decorate it. And then when the muscle are not at their strongest element, imagine three people or two people are carrying something, okay?
Mhm.
And if one of them is not putting full effort, the whole stress gets carried by the other one. Now, what are those two things in our spine? One is the muscle, the other one is actually the bone, the cartilage, the disc.
Yeah.
That means if the spinal muscle, we call them paraspinal muscle, meaning muscle around the spine, they are not at their best performance, at the best behavior, the rest of the energy has to be carried by the disc, by the cartilage, and that can truly cause damage to them, disc herniation, facet disease, cartilage wear and tear, and so on. So, and as well, there is another factor in winter, especially in Minnesota, I believe that's important, is that if you have lots of ice and snow.
Yeah. I was just gonna try and bring that up.
Yeah, yeah, bring that up. What did you want to say?
Well, I was gonna say with the holidays, some other things come, which is snow where we live, and you have to get rid of the snow. Not everyone is lucky enough to have, like my grandma actually for Christmas every year buys my mom a snow plow company to come every morning plow the driveway
Can
because
I
my
have your
mom,
grandma?
I know, I'm like, can you buy me too? But not everyone's lucky enough to have that. So
Hmm.
maybe you have a snow plow, but also not everyone is lucky enough to have a snow plow. So how can people plow or shovel their driveway safely without injuring their spine?
That is definitely not. Amanda, you have heard what we tell our patient after the surgery, correct? What do we tell them?
No bending, lifting, and twisting.
BLT is not
Yeah.
a sandwich. Is a We tell them no bending, twisting, lifting, no BLT, no bending, lifting, twisting, for a reason, because like if an average person bends, they put like almost 2,000, 3,000 pounds on their bottom of their spine. That is amount of pressure they put, like a 1.5 metric ton. And the way it works is that, like an average person obviously doesn't weigh that much, but it is like a crowbar, or the long arm of the crowbar is our torso. The short arm of the crowbar is like a depth of our bone in our spine. So practically you have the two arm, one very large and one small one. And when you bend, it aggravates the pressure on the spine, tremendous amount of pressure. So snow shoveling has all three of them. It has bending, twisting, lifting.
Yeah.
And
And if it's like a warm day and the snow is super heavy and like that dense, sticky snow, that is so hard to shovel. Like, so
and
do you think that that someone who has to shovel their own driveway, they don't have access to a plow, they should shovel in a straight line and shovel like towards the thing and each time pick it up again? Or what do you think?
well, I think if you have a snow blower, that's probably better for you. No, and if you do it with the correct technique, and if you do it, if you build yourself up for it, I think actually it's a fantastic exercise instead of going to gym.
It is a good
Well,
exercise.
yeah, it's a fantastic exercise, It has, but like any other exercise, like you go to gym, instead of going from 15 pound to 20 pound to 30 pound and so on, you just jump to 150 pound for any kind of, lifting and so on. You will hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So the problem is that somebody's sitting on a couch all summer long and having a beer under the sun. When winter comes now, they gear up to go and do for the first time an activity like that. Obviously, after the surgery, we recommend for them not to do that. That means what I'm telling you is that you have to keep an activity level that when you start doing that in winter, is not like the last time you did that activity was last winter and you are
Yeah,
just into it.
you shouldn't go from couch directly to driveway shoveling. You should go from the couch to maybe middle of the living room, do a couple stretches, bend over a couple times, and then go outside once your body is warmed up. Is that what you're saying?
That as well, but I'm talking about the entire summer. You have to keep yourself active, that those muscles are use it or lose it kind of situation.
Yeah.
If you don't use it all muscle, and there's another secret that I'm just only going to tell it to you. Men's are the worst. They love to watch themselves in the mirror. When they go to gym, even men that go to gym, the only exercise muscle they see in the mirror. Unfortunately, nobody sees his paraspinal muscle in the mirror. Especially men always neglect that. Now, women are better because they do Pilates, they do stretches, they do yoga more and so on, and that really activate the paraspinal muscle. But the paraspinal muscle are the most neglected thing. I have had these athletes, their arm and legs were like, massive, but
Like the size of your head.
yeah, but they needed surgery. But when I opened up their spine, there's barely anything there. So they all over exercise the muscle that they can see in the mirror, but literally they neglect the muscle that connect all of them together around the spine. So not only you have to keep a certain level of activity, but as well um, include uh, exercises that literally keep your paraspinal muscle intact. As a matter of fact, if I could do something that will have a huge impact on all population, I would do it mandatory in the school to teach them exercises that for spine.
Yeah.
Meaning that, just make it part of the general public education, because you and I, we know by the time you're 50 years old, there's 70% chance that you have spine problem. By the time you're 70 years old, there's only 2% chance that you don't have spine problem.
And if you're born, you have a spine. So it's like we all need to take care of that. And also imagine if in the beginning of the day at schools, they started off with 20 minutes of yoga. And then in the middle of the day, they did 20 more minutes of yoga. That would, I think, also help children's focus.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. When I was growing up in Iran, that is how we started the day in the school. We had to be all of us in the schoolyard, and we had to do 5 or 10 minute exercises before we would go. And we hated that. We absolutely hated that.
If I had a school, I would make the children do yoga multiple times per day. I would say like 2 or 3 yoga breaks per day, readjust, get focused, recenter. But there's other reasons why I think you need to really pay attention to your spine, especially in the winter.
Mhm.
And sometimes there are free yoga classes that you can take in the winter as well, just so you guys know that. But in the winter, in the holidays, we already talked about this, people are more stressed in general. And when you're stressed, you're naturally going to be more tense. So you're more likely to injure yourself when you're more tense. That just makes it more important to stretch more, maybe get a massage, ask for a massage gift card for Christmas, and take care of your back a little bit more than you normally would. Pay more attention to yourself.
So yeah, as well, I want to emphasize what you just said, which is very true. Being tense. Now, you may not know that. Just alone by picking up a glass, bringing it to your mouth, taking a drink, this is a massive coordination of many, many muscles. Now imagine walking. Walking is one of the most complex coordination of so many muscles. Now imagine now, this is already difficult, and now it's winter, you are walking on ice and snow.
Mm-hmm.
Without you knowing, your muscle have to work a lot harder to keep your
Yeah.
balance. And that happens automatically. So we have to overemphasize, especially in winter when we are walking, our spine muscle, they have to hundreds and hundreds of times per second readjust. Like you imagine you're walking on ice and your foot gives out and you're about to fall, and how you coordinate, prevent you of falling. That is a magic amount. That's a humongous amount of coordination, and lots of muscle they relax and contract and so on to prevent that. And in winter, on ice and snow, our bodies just have to work harder
Mm-hmm. There
to keep
are
that
some
tension.
there are some things you can buy for your shoes. It's like a strap that you tie to the bottom. It has little picks. Those are really good if you're someone you have to take a walk in the winter. You should look into getting these types of things just to protect
Absolutely.
yourself a little bit more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fall prevention is a huge part of that, preparing yourself for a holiday. You want to spend your holiday with your family, not in the hospital.
And that being said, what do you think if you could pick 5 things that someone with back pain should put on their Christmas list, what would you pick?
Well, you said half of them already.
What can I say? I'm a
Yoga,
shopper.
yeah, yoga, maybe Pilates, massages. But I would love to give to lots of people a gift card for 2 visits to physical therapy to
Yeah.
learn exercises for the spine. As a matter of fact, I think the government should that make it mandatory that health insurances they make annual 1 or 2 physical therapy visits. That is like vaccination.
Yeah. It's
Save your
prevention.
It's a prevention. It'll help you a lot to keep your spine health going because spine is a public health issue. I cannot overemphasize that. If you're a human, you have a spine and your spine will give out on you eventually. And there's a lot you can do to keep it going longer, better for yourself. And that is most of that is trivial things as long as you know it and you do it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Okay.
So if I were to make a Christmas list for if I were someone with back pain and I wanted to put 5 things on my Christmas list to help with my back pain, in no particular order, I would say I want a gift card to a massage therapist. I would also like maybe a yoga mat and a yoga block. 2 yoga blocks for a Christmas gift. That would be a good one. Those ice shoes
Mhm.
and
And even a gift card to a yoga class.
yeah, gift card to a yoga class. My class does that, or my yoga studio does that. You can buy like a gift card pack and maybe even a like I'm imagining an older person needing this. So I'm thinking another good gift could be your grandchild can help you to navigate YouTube because there are a lot of physical therapy videos for different exercises for your spine, your neck, low back, whatever it should be. Ask your grandchildren, or if you have a grandma or a grandpa, show them how to access these videos. Write it down step by step so then they can do them at home because we don't want our grandparents having to leave the house when it's cold out. Give them the ability to help themselves with the least amount of energy possible.
And as well, especially in winter, if you have to go out and do activities, obviously stretching, being prepared is good, but as well, there are these kind of braces that some of them you can even heat up. They have a part that you can heat up and you can physically heat it up. But as well, once you know you have spine problem, put a brace on before you do excessive things. Okay, and that could be on a list of that could be under the Christmas tree.
Definitely. That's a great thing to put on the Christmas tree. There's no shame in wearing a brace. You're just taking care of yourself. It's a form of self-love.
That's right. That's right. Well, I think we sort of wrapped it up, right?
Thank you guys for watching. This was Essence of Medicine, and we talked about how stress can impact the spine. Happy holidays. I'm Amanda Armagost.
And I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence.